All right, and Jake drops in, comes off hard off the bottom. Almost looked like he lifted up on his board to stall there, and he gets a nice flip off of that end section.
A nice flip. Can he hang on? He was still on his board for a second there, but no, he just couldn't hang on to that, so he's going to be trying to get back out there as fast as he can. Not wearing a leash, so he's going to be chasing his board down in the suds.
He's going to have to swim for his board. He'll lose time, but not going to affect his scores any.
There's his board there on the right of the screen. It's getting a bit washed around there in the suds.
Yeah, and it looks like his board's just going to get washed up on the beach. Meanwhile, here's the replay. Run us through this, Ryan.
So he went real wide out there in the flats because there wasn't much of a section straight up. Tried to connect the wedge there, and he hit that quite well. He got the timing down right. Just a bit bouncy in the foam, and just couldn't quite hang on to his board. So, yeah, not locking in a score there, Jacko, but, yeah, he's up against the ropes early here with Pierre scoring an 8.25 on that first one.
Yeah, that's a pretty big score for Pierre to start things off out there. Throwing off the gloves right off the bat out there and ready to put up a fight.
For sure, Jacko. First, there's only been a bit over 2 minutes gone. Pierre's got an 8.25. He's got just around 27 minutes left to post another score. He's in a really good position. And Stoney on the other side will already be entering a bit of a panic mode. You know, Pierre's got a solid score, and he knows he's well capable in these conditions to get a second one.
There you can see João Zeke coming in from the last heat, having some success towards the end, but Jose Otavio came out firing, nailed down that 9.75, and was just out of reach that entire heat.
For sure, for sure. Jacko, that's the way you want to start off a heat. A 9.75, that was probably the biggest wave that's come in all day. There's a bazooing contingency. Definitely happy. Look, just colourful. Just Manny's in there.
Yeah, there you can see what Manny does when he's not in the booth. He's down on the beach. A person of the people, hanging out, taking pictures. There you can see him with a bunch of the girls, a bunch of the Brazilian competitors on the beach, taking photos, people giving the little boom pound. That's become Manny's signature on the world tour and around the world. There you can see him having fun.
Sure thing, and he's become pretty famous. You can see him around the traps now. You get people coming up and getting photos with him as he's doing the power. I've seen in Chile some fans have come up with their own video camera and get Manny to do the report and the power in their camera, and he loves it. He's like you say, he's a man of the people, and very likable character. And we're pretty blessed to have him here on the IBA tour and leading the webcast scene.
All right, and there you can see on the bottom of our screen, PLC with an 8.25. Only a 1.2 on his last wave. He's going to want to replace that as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Jake Stone with a 2.25 on his first wave. Still needs a secondary score. Pierre coming out firing on this.
Big time. 8.25 in the first minute. That really is coming out firing. Like we saw Jose in the last heat getting a 9.75. Just to get that early advantage is such a commanding thing to do for your confidence. And here's Pierre now looking for another wave. Probably looking at the right-hander, starting to taper off here, Jacko.
Here you see Pierre come off the bottom, drives up, hits another flip, lands mid-face. His board kind of popped out from under him a little bit, but he pulls it back in. Here you see him kick in, looking for that inside section to combo, get the finishing maneuver, and there he gets a nice solid roll as he washes up onto the beach. So nice recovery there from Pierre. The big move on the outside, almost lost it, but reeled it back in and got that secondary maneuver. And here we have Jake looking at this one.
Here we are, Jake against the ropes now. He's got no scores on the board. Really looking to get something solid here. Nice clean invert off the section. Looking for the second move, punching a roll through the shorey, and he's in the game.
There we go. Solid wave for Jake Stone.
But a nice solid wave. And Pierre now is going to have two really good scores, and we've definitely got a good game on our hands. And this is a fiercely fought battle, the Pierre-Stoney rivalry, Jacko. Here's Pierre, though, on his last wave.
There you can see him driving up, hits the section nice, and there you see the corner of his tail popping out from under him. When you're trying to reset your line and you've got to tuck your board back from underneath you during a competition like this, how hard is it to regain your focus after you're like, oh, I almost lost it there?
Yeah, well, he was pretty lucky in that situation because the wave slowed down, so he had time to grab that rail back into the correct position and then get the second wedge into the section. But the judges will see that, and he won't be awarded the perfect score like a normal clean backflip would.
And here we have the replay of Jake Stone dropping down, driving off the bottom. You can see that water just spewing off the bottom of his board. He heads up, hits that invert, nice, clean. textbook maneuvering on that, and he finishes off with the roll. So a nice invert to roll combination on that way for Jake Stone. Here's the stats on Jake, 22 years old from Australia, currently ranked 16th. Making a pretty good name for himself out there in the world of bodyboarding these days.
Definitely, Jacko, definitely, and he's doing his best to keep up with Pierre, who is, these two guys are definitely the leaders of their generation, having been rookies in the last 2-3 years on tour. Definitely the fiercest competitors and the most talented for their age. They out in the water now next to each other, and I'm sure that there wouldn't be much spoken out there, and it'd be a lot of sounds of crickets and the sounds of water splashing, but no, there wouldn't be much conversation, Jacko.
It's one of the things I love about bodyboarding. On the beach, everybody's cool, everybody's hanging out, friends, having a good time. Once you hit the water, the gloves are off, game face is on, and it's just, mano a mano, man against man, battle.
That's it, Jacko. No, it's how it should be. We're all here for a competition. It's a social scene out of the water, but when you're in the water, it's just one guy in a bodyboard against another guy in a bodyboard trying to get the best score and the best waves. Whatever's said out in the water is kind of irrelevant to what's going on. You're both getting judged in a 30-minute time frame. It's all counting for the world title. And here's Stoney up looking for a second score, coming clean off the bottom. Nice clean flip and comes out clean. That's going to be his second scorer, and he's going to be feeling good now, a bit more confidence. And he's going to be he'll still be a bit behind Pierre, but he's in a better position now to have a good go at this heat.
Yeah, so we've got a good little battle going on out in the water right now. We wouldn't expect anything less from Pierre and Jake. Run us through this one more time.
So he's come clean off the bottom. Perfect timing with the lip. It was a little crumbly with this onshore, but he got a nice timing and came out clean. Span it around clean, no bogs, and this board was held under him nicely. So that'll be a decent score for Stoney.
All right, and while we have a lull in the action right now, just to give a heads up on what we're going to see next, coming up in the next heat, we're going to see Uri Valadown against Andrew Lester, former world champ against former runner-up to the world champ. Your boys with Lester. Give us a quick rundown on him.
Well, this is going to be a huge heat. This is one of the boys, of course, Lester. Took a few years off tour and just came back with a late charge last year to qualify on tour for this year, and definitely one of the most competitive bodyboarders I've ever met and ever competed against. And then on the flip side, you got Yuri, like you say, world champion in 2006, and one of Brazil's greatest chances at a world champion this year and in future years. A competitive animal himself, and well and truly capable in these conditions of a championship.
All right, so we're going to get back to this heat right after this. All right, and we're back. Thank you again to Pride Bodyboards, one of our main sponsors for this event, the 2012 Itacoatiara Pro, sponsored by Pride Bodyboards, Uzik.com, and Net. There you can see the current situation out in the water, just under 20 minutes remaining. PLC in the lead with a combined 15.58, but Jake Stone not far behind with a 13.53 combined score.
Stoney needs an 8.01 here, Jacko. So it'd be a score similar to that first wave of Pierre's, the 8.25. Just a strong, clean move on a good sized wave, possibly a two-move combination. And we've got a peak coming here now. I believe Pierre's got priority. He's let that one go. There's a bit of a left on the corner of it, but both guys have opted to let that one go. It wasn't much of a section there.
We're starting to see some sets roll in a little bit more consistently now. There were a few lulls in the last heat, but this heat seems to be a lot more active than the heat prior.
Yeah, you've been here watching it all morning, Jacko. Have you seen a definite sort of slow increase? A few more sets starting to come through, say, in this round? in the last round?
I have to say, actually, starting with this heat, it seems to be picking up a little bit more. Earlier this morning, it was predominantly small with the occasional set wave. Last heat, we were seeing more set waves coming through, but long period gaps between them. And now it seems like they're coming in a little bit more consistently. I mean, we've already got 6 waves ridden in this heat between the 2 riders, and we're starting to see more swell lines on the horizon. So it looks to be improving as we speak.
It looks like Stoney's having a look at this little bit of a wedge and opts to let it go, hitting the foam a bit.
So, is this your first time in Brazil?
It's my second time in Brazil, first time to Itacoatiara, yeah.
And how'd you find the waves earlier in this event? Were you out there during the heavier heat?
Yeah, of course,
waves?
yeah. All of us in the first couple of rounds got to surf it when it was 8, 10, 12 feet. And it's so heavy out there. It's pretty hectic. You're just out there thinking. I was almost thinking, I kind of want this heat to be over because if you catch a wave, you're just going to get most likely you're just going to get flogged, paddle back out, and it just takes so much out of you. Sure, some of the waves you catch were wedges and had ramps, but not many of them. So most waves you're either getting flogged and then you're getting flogged, paddling back out.
Gotcha.
So
and we're going to throw down to the beach with Alex Leon right now. He's with the winner of the last heat, Jose Otavio.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Down here with that last heat winner, Jose Otavio. Well done, local boy, holding it proud for the Brazilian people here.
Yeah, it was a good hit with João. He's a local too, he knows the waves. And I got luck with the first wave, a big invert and roll and a 9.7, I think. And I got another one, a backflip, good one too. And just wait for the scores from João to see how he's going to hit. And he didn't get good waves and was lucky to pass another round.
Yeah, that first invert was pretty massive by you. You got a lot of pop, you got a lot of punch off the top, and you scored pretty high, one of the highest scoring waves today. You must have felt pretty good as soon as you done that one. You thought, yep, confidence there?
Yeah, in the first heat, I was not so good. I missed good waves. I was not so focused on the good waves, and now I'm back. Now after this heat, I can do better. I can't use McCart the next round.
Yeah, that's right. Mark McCarthy, you take on.
He's a good in this wave. I saw his round. He was so pretty good in the waves, and I'm focused to find the good ones and do the best. This is the strategy.
And what does it mean for you if you win this event here in Brazil at your home beach?
It would be amazing, incredible, because to compete at home, it's pretty good because you know the wave, you know the people around, so everybody's rooting for you. It's amazing. I don't think about this because a lot of rounds before that, I focus on each round.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll let you go and we'll let you focus for this next round. You take on Mark McCarthy from South Africa, who's been on fire as well in the event. So good luck, and I'm sure all the Brazilians are backing you right now.
Yeah. I thanks for all the guys that watch me, that support me, and have luck to the next round.
All right, that was Jose Otavio making it through. You'll see him in the next round coming up against Mark McCarthy. Back to you boys upstairs.
All right, thanks, Alex. And here we can see, again, a little bit of a lull. So much for my, it's getting more consistent.
yeah. That's the thing with big period swells, Jacko. They'll come through in sets of lines, and you'll think, oh, it's pulsing, it's coming through now, and then you'll get a gap. And here we go, Stoney looking on an inside left. And no, he just stops out of it.
Looks like he pulls out of that. He had Jake had a wave while we were away at interview. You saw real quick. He got a 4.75 for that. Didn't really improve his position any, but another wave under his belt nonetheless. And now we can start seeing some lines starting to roll in. Pierre paddling over, looking like he's going to try and get into position for this one, but looks like he's going to let that one pass by.
Yeah, for sure, Jacko. He's got an 8.25 and a 7.33, so he's only going to be looking for waves of a good quality now, something that's going to offer him a big ramp, better than a 7-point score. And then Jake needs a big score as well. He's already got a 7.58. So both these guys now are pretty much looking for a good ramp. They're not going to be scrapping for anything too small and foamy. Like Jake letting that one go then, it had a little bowl on it, but he's got to get a wave that's got to have either 2 continuous sections or a big one that's got 1 big ramp.
And here you can see Pierre paddling over. Looks like this one's going to peak up a little bit, and no takers on this one either. So this is your first time back to Brazil in about 8 years. How are you enjoying your time here?
Definitely enjoying it. Yeah, I haven't been to this beach before, and the first time I rocked up here, I was amazed at the wedge setup. How you got 2 cliffs on either side of the beach, and it's a punchy shore break, which everybody loves. Everyone loves a punchy shore, and when you throw a wedge in there, and the fact that it can get to 10, 12 foot bigger, it's got amazing potential. Yeah,
that's cool. Where I come from, all it is beach breaks, and it's like always appreciate a fun little wedge. Even on a day like today. You get that nice little wedge ball, fun to play with.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, if there was no cliffs here, this would probably just be a fairly straight close-out shorey, which might be a little bit of fun. But when you throw 2 big cliffs on either side of the beach, throwing kind of sidewave wedges throughout the lineup, it just turns into from an average beach break to a really fun, playful, powerful wedging beachy.
And the cool thing about the setup here at Itacoatiara is there's multiple peaks. There's one to the left. When you're on the beach looking out over the ocean, there's one to your left called Castão, and then there's Maio, which is the middle, and then down to the beach, the right-hander is Pampo, and then there's also behind a rock formation a spot called Prainha, or Little Beach, which is kind of like a kiddie beach, and then on the more massive swells, the 4 to 5 meter swells, there's a spot on the outside that breaks over rocks and is pretty heavy. It's called the Shock. So lots of places to ride here. Definitely some variations. You got your lefts, you got your rights, you've got your heavy big wave spot, you've got your little kiddie beach. So, I mean, there's a little something for everybody here.
Definitely, Jacko. I think you should be a bit of a tour guide around here. I didn't even know all these breaks had names. I just knew it was a wedging beachy with a reef on the other side. But, yeah, you've got all the facts down.
And there you can see Jeff Hubbard on the beach signing an autograph for this girl. I've been informed this girl drove 7 hours just to come see Jeff Hubbard and get his autograph.
Wow, that's a special
commitment.
moment. That's stars in your eyes right there. And let's see where Jeff Hubbard's eyes are wandering. It's not all about the surf here at Itacoatiara, Jacko. Oh, look out, hubby. Yeah, he's just going, oh, that's a nice looking bush there. Would you like your pen back? Yeah, okay, your wetsuit, yeah, the water's quite cool out there. Thanks for coming down and visiting, yeah.
From what I understand, when she finally got to meet Jeff Hubbard and get his autograph, she almost had an emotional breakdown.
Right, yeah.
So, you know what? It's really cool to see people that passionate about bodyboarding. You see it a lot around the world at all the tour events. Something we've definitely seen here in Brazil, large crowds, people clamoring for autographs. It's really, really cool to see the sport that big and that appreciated, and it continues to grow around the world. While you guys were in Arica, they usually take you guys to a school for an autograph session. It's like you guys are rock stars rolling up.
Oh, yeah, and in Arica it's huge. I think that the fact of foreigners turning up there that are sports people and it's people they've seen on the internet and in videos and stuff like that. They get really fanatical. They kind of climb over each other to get a photo or an autograph, and I don't know. They're just really, really fanatical over there. And here's Pierre using his priority to take that wave off Jake. He's got a little bowl here. Does a nice clean flip, spins it round. I don't think it'll fall into his top 2. So
it was a smaller wave, but nice, clean maneuver nonetheless.
Yeah. It was good surfing. It was good. Nice on the eye, good to watch. Does leave Stoney in a bit better position now, having priority out the back. 8.5 minutes to get an 8-point ride.
And here we see the replay, Pierre. Nice clean execution on the flip. Lands, gets it around clean before the wave closes out. Smaller wave, one maneuver, but still a solid wave from Pierre. And here you can see his stats falling on the screen. Pierre, 22 years old, currently ranked 7th. Our defending world champ, 2011 world champ. And you know what? I've just been informed that visual we saw with There you can see Jake Stone asking for time. I've been informed that that girl that traveled 7 hours just to meet Jeff Hubbard and get his autograph, this is just an example of how cool people in the bodyboarding world can be. Jeff is going to take her out for a bodyboarding lesson.
That's Hub to a T. He's one of the nicest guys on tour and one of the most passionate guys in bodyboarding. He'd take any grom, any friend, older person for a bodyboard, and here he is today, quite happy to take this girl out for a ride that's come 7 hours, as you say, Jacko. Yeah.
And as Manny Vargas was telling me over the earpiece, she's in cloud 9. She's in heaven right now. There's a dream come true, and there you can see Pierre hitting moves that some of us can only dream of. Those of us who aren't competing on the world tour. So nice little invert, little tweak.
Yeah, he's just under Stoney's priority there, just getting busy, maybe thinking a little bowl might pop up, but not quite on that one. He'll be back out there and probably maybe distance himself from Stoney a bit, try and get a wave while he doesn't have priority. 7 minutes left.
Yeah, we have 7 minutes left. Jake right now is chasing an 8.01 to move ahead of Pierre for that advancing spot. There you can see Andrew Lester heading out for his next heat. Lester, Nori Valadown. This is going to be another battle out in the water.
It's going to be a great battle, Jacko, yeah. And Lester's come from the depths. His first heat, he scored a combination total of 4 on that big day. He just had one of the earlier heats where it was a bit rough and he couldn't find any good waves. And here he is back here in round 6 with a shot to get into the quarters and potentially put himself in place for the title race in this comp if he can get a good result.
Yeah, I had Andrew up in the booth with me after that first round performance, and he wasn't a happy camper. He was really kind of ticked off at himself. He was actually saying it was probably one of the worst heats he's ever surfed in his entire pro career. And since then, he's just been rolling through his heats, just getting some really impressive scores, having solid rides, and, we're going to see him coming up next.
Yeah, for sure, Jacko. He's got plenty of juice left in the tank. Like I said, we saw him have a couple of years off before last year, just qualified again last year. And here he is again on the World Tour after probably a 4 or 5, maybe 6-year break. And, yeah, plenty of juice. So competitive. He really wears his heart on his sleeve. If he loses the heat, like you said before, having a shocker getting 4 points, he'll just be so over it. And, life will just be terrible. But then he'll have a good heat or win a comp and he's on top of the world, which is what a lot of competitive people feel. When they lose, it hurts them. It's such a deep pain. And then when they win, it's just such an amazing feeling and puts you on top of the world. And he's a textbook example of that, a super competitive person and a rider with all the talent in the world to potentially win at this contest and potentially win the World Tour.
And here we can see up and riding Pierre-Louis Costas dropping into this one. Hits a little speed bump on the mid-face, and it kind of threw off his line, so he's going to duck out and look for another one. How were the conditions when you were out for your heat? I know a lot of heats we've seen backwash and some cross chop running up the face of the wave, making it really hard to maintain your line and keep any kind of speed while you're looking for that section to hit.
Yeah, for sure, Jacko. I was out there yesterday, and it was fairly similar to right now, probably similar size, just kind of light winds, pretty bumpy, and it's really crucial your timing and avoiding the lumps out here. And it sucks up so fast, so that your timing out of the lip is the most important thing, so that you're getting as much air as you can.
Now, there's usually a lot more to take in with riding a beach break over a reef break. You've got to worry about backwash, rip currents, side waves. How do you contend with all of that, and how do you prepare for beach breaks as opposed to riding a reef break?
Yeah, well, definitely practice in beach breaks beforehand, before this competition coming up, just to get used to that erraticness of the waves, how they can just break anywhere and break over rips and stuff like that. And, just have your beach break moves down, your inverts off closeouts, your flips off closeouts. And here's Pierre now. Let's see how his training's been going for him now. That wave didn't offer him much. But see, Pierre's someone that's probably as comfortable as anyone out in these kind of wedgy, closing out beach break conditions. Come from France, where he's grown up all his life surfing wedging, kind of heavy, dumpy beaches, and he's got all the ability in the world. And here's Stoney looking for another score. It's a nice, clean flip, but has he pulled it around?
It doesn't look like he completed it. So tough one for Jake Stone, still trying to play catch up with Pierre. 3 minutes remaining in the heat, and he still has some work to do if he's going to catch up with Pierre. He's still in need of an 8.01 or better to take that top advancing spot from Pierre. And Pierre's going to have priority right now with the time counting down, closing moments.
That's right, Jacko. He's just going to be looking for a stronger wave here to just further his lead. And at nearly 2.5 minutes, he's probably going to be using this his priority here to his advantage once Stoney's out the back. But like we saw earlier today with Jake's, I think it was Stoney and Dudu in his last heat. If you can't chase your other rider down. If you chase them down from one side of the beach to the other, the priority can switch. So the system is made so that the person without priority in the last couple of minutes can still have the chance of catching a wave and not be sat on.
All right, and there you can see Pierre paddling through as this little set rolls through. Have you ever gotten into any major paddle battles out in the lineup during a competition? Had anybody try and sit on you out there?
Oh, yeah, definitely plenty of being sat on and chased down the beach in four-man situations, because then that rule doesn't apply. I've had a few hectic ones for that. And more recently, since we've had four-man priority and with the two-man priority, you have the paddle battles trying to get back out the back to get to that line of priority. And that's made some really good battles this year. I think King and Mitch Rawlins had one of the better ones in Chile where they were touching each other's hands as their because they were both hammering arms and legs, and their hands were touching each other as they were paddling next to each other because they were so close, and it was a ferocious battle. And in the end, Kingy's board just slipped out from under his belly, so Mitch got ahead of him. But yeah, it does make for some entertaining paddle battles, that's for sure.
There you can see about a minute remaining. Jake Stone's time running out in this heat. Pierre sitting on priority. 1 minute remaining. See if anything comes through to help Jake Stone improve his position.
He's going to be looking for something pretty big here, Jack. It's not a big wave, so he's going to have to do something real high degree of difficulty. He's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve, and he's tried something there. It looked like a double roll.
And it looks like he fell behind the section.
Yeah, that's behind the wave. And he's not looking too happy about it.
There you see, he throws
little
his board like a frisbee.
So yeah, he's packed it in. Unfortunately, that's the end of Jake Stone's campaign in this event. Losing to his biggest rival, Pierre-Louis Costes, would not be the best feeling either. So there's nothing more he can do now. Jacko's just got to feel the loss and just wait it out until the next comp.
You can see the frustration in his body language alone, let alone the fact that he threw his board halfway up the beach. I'm going to venture a guess and say Jake Stone's not going to be someone you want to bother for the next half hour or so.
Yeah, definitely, Jacko. It's not someone you want to throw some sly write-off remarks at. Give him his space.